All right, Dad. Next chapter. This weekend I moved the car around, turned it around. Time to work on the left side, driver's side. And I got plenty of work left to do on this side. I started this morning I'm going to finish up the boot here. And so I've been fabricating replacements here for these drip channels. This part here came out. If you remember, this one has a wow in it that goes this way, so it's not trivial to make, just takes a little bit of time. That looks okay, but you can see that on this side, all the sills are shot, but I'm gonna have a smaller amount of repair work to do here. You remember, for the other side, it was just totally rotted, but I'll have to replace probably a section about this big. I'll have to replace that entire sandwich. Metal on metal, or metal with rust and then metal, it's all in bad shape. I'll have to cut that, be able to get to the sill. Outer sill gets pulled off. This particular side comes with Swiss cheese. And so that inner sill needs to come off. This closing plate is in much better shape than the other side. I really only need to replace the bottom here, so I'll have to make a repair rather than a full replacement for that. Floors will come out. This part here is not as bad a shape as the other side was, but I'm going to probably still replace it. I'll have to wait and see till I get digging inside there. Floors, some work that needs to be done at the end there. Various hodgepodge of repairs in the past. And so, yeah, that's sort of the next thing. I will probably just do little pieces here and kind of bring you along. And I think the next, tomorrow, my job is to complete the boot area. I need to close this up. I didn't close that up from work a long time ago, just because it was on the wrong side. I couldn't get my welder all the way over there, so I'm going to do that too. And yeah, just do what I do what I did before, and do it all on repeat mode. To cut open the outer sill. I figured I'd see a bunch of acorns in it, but it's just plain old rust. Anyways, I'll start cleaning this all up. Part of my job here, so here we go. All right, Dad. Surgery's ongoing. Like all these things are subject to an awful lot of this sort of sandwich rust. So I just cut off this piece here. You can see the rust just sort of rains down. So I was clear from inspecting the backside here that I was all perforated along this inside bit. So I freed it up. Now I can make a cut around here, maybe remake that, weld that in, get a cage nut in, and start to build it back up. Plenty of rust here to mitigate. So this is the best way to do it, and it's all accessible now. And so that's as far as I'll go on this bit here. And so then I'll start to rebuild back to square one, so that I'm not get too floppy. This drip rail along here is a strong stiffener. All these pieces add up to the rigidity here, so it's all locked down on the chassis, so no problem. But off we go. All right, this is part of the first part of the surgery. I've made a slit down here. I took off this piece that goes over to here. Here it is, remade. Well, this is just a single bell weld along here. It just sort of sits inside there. And then that's the first capture nut. There's another one that goes over here. That goes over here. It all gets welded up together. And so, there's my pieces of my Frankenstein. Went in here and I wire wheeled the best I could inside there. And then I put in some, liberally put in some rust converter. That'll help try to hopefully hold that down. I'm gonna let that go till tomorrow or the next day. You wipe it out, and then you're free to spray. And I will go in here and I'll protect these surfaces, these corners, and then put in some epoxy primer, a spray can I have. Did the same thing along here. I'll probably end up actually replacing a section over here. It's quite beat up, but the rest of this is all okay. This is just sort of a precaution after I pulled off the old primer and the rust. So now I'm gonna start clawing back to complete from back here. So probably hopefully in a week or so it'll be all done. All right, then reconstruction. Just added this flange along here. The rear piece that comes across there is just sort of held in with this fender washer. Those two hold the fender on, and so this is just about ready to lock up and turn out okay. Off we go. All right, there it is. That section is finished. It's like a triple-decker sandwich inside there. Looks like it's in good shape, ready to go. Moving on. All right, Dan, I'm going to show you how to build up this drip channel on the side here. What I did is I just took a piece of 19 gauge and I measured from the edge across the top here how long or how deep this part of the flange was from the old one that I took off. Somewhere by 20 millimeters in the middle, and it's a little longer, a little wider at the end, 22, 23 millimeters or so. Trace the curve across there and then just use my bead roller, roll across there. You can see that essentially leaves a curved piece there. Once I'd gotten a good break on that from the bead roller, I just put the thick piece here in the vise and knocked it over with a hammer. Okay, and then at that point I wasn't quite the wow that I have along here on the curve, so I just put it in the shrinker, kick shrinker, and shrink that inside edge just a little bit, just to bring it along. As soon as I tip, I can't rely too much completely on shrinking along here to get me the curvature, because as soon as I tip this up, I will lose the force that makes it go that way, and it will be too short here, and so it'll then want to go this way. So I need to get both just from this shape here and a little bit of curvature. Most of my shrinking when I've done this has been sort of in the center here, with only a little bit along the edge. So that just sort of keeps a balance there that I need, because as soon as I tip this edge up, then it won't sort of fit anymore. It won't be the same forces. So I'll get something more. So that looks fine so far. I'll just keep on going. Okay, you can see I've started to tip up that inside flange. Everything seems to be holding together okay. Got the right shape. Knock it all the way up. All right, I've got this outer part fitting fine. Just a little bit of tweaking here and there. Now I'm gonna take the inner one and make it fit. There's about a 9 or 10 mil gap between it and the most inner one. So I'll tweak it, spot weld it on, and then that will make this complete. Won't spot weld it on here quite yet, just because I have to replace a piece down in here first. So once I've done that, then I will call that part good. Got this fitted up a little better than I did on the other side. Just sort of have a joggle underneath there, so this thing fits underneath, and I can just clamp it in. I'll be able to put a spot weld and then we'll seam weld that joggle, and it'll be just fine. So overall, that's coming out nicely. Okay, Dan, making a little progress here. This is the fiddliest bit of the whole thing. It's getting the shape of this corner piece right, and you know, this is where the water sits. There's supposed to be a drain hole, but it plugs and water collects and rusts out. So there's lots of holes inside there. So cut it out, I had to face it, you know, basically make a U channel and shrink it to give you that shape. So now it sort of fits okay, and I'll gotta go in and clean the back side. There was plenty of rust that came out of there. And put it back together and get the inner channel for both of those, and yeah, we'll make progress. I said it was going to take me a week. Not sure what universe that is, but it's not usually my universe, so I should know better than to actually say anything about how long it's going to take. But anyways, making some progress. Okay, Dan, I think I'm going to end my video here. Got as far as making the this corner fiddly bit. Requires drill a hole and weld in a drain. Just a little piece of tubing that comes out there. This is sort of, I moved the hole over on the old one. The hole was somewhere uphill somewhere. Uphill about a ½ inch, and so the water would actually sit in the low spot, which was not where the hole was. So anyways, so this now is just a 2-piece thing that just comes together, and I'll just spot weld that and get it all ready to go. But I wanted to just sort of end things here. Hopefully the next time I send you something, I'll have had some Thanksgiving time in the shop here, and I'll have all of these drip rails completed and repaired. I'm slowed down a little bit right now because I got Midge home. Midge came home. She's gonna get a distributor upgrade. I'm gonna put a 1, 2, 3 distributor on her, which is an electronic one, and correct a couple little things that have been giving me a little bit of trouble. So I will bring you up to date on that at some later stage. But for now, I'm going to sign off and hope you're doing okay, Dad. Been thinking a lot about you. Take care now. Love you.